Welcome friends, I am Urmila Gurude in our 9th standard class. Today we are continuing the previous unit, appreciation art, visual art. Okay, and today we are going to learn more about visual art, its element and related Western Indian artist, famous artist. Okay, let's see the page number 47. 5 elements of visual art. These are all basic elements, you know, that line, shape, form, shades, then textures. So down in your book, all visual art, whether two-dimensional like a painting or three-dimensional like a sculpting, are made of one or more of 5 elements of art. These elements are the basic building blocks of any art. The final art piece would depend upon how these elements have been used by that artist. So it's depend on our imagination how to use that 5 elements. You can use all the elements in one art piece, or you can choose which elements you need in your art piece, and it's depend on our own imagination or depends on our art piece. Okay, and using these basic elements only we can create our art piece. Then whether it will be the two-dimensional picture, means paintings, or the three-dimensional sculptures, whatever it may be, all the type of art, visual art, depends only on these 5 elements. We can count all the 5 elements in one art piece or less elements. Understand? It's depend on our choice or depends on that piece. So let's have a look again. First of all, first element is line. You learn that how line created, starting from one point to end to the other point, we can get a line. Many types of lines are there: straight lines, standing lines, horizontal lines, curved lines, wavy lines, interacting lines, circular lines, coiling, gothic lines. All these are the types of lines, you know that. These types of lines we used while creating any art piece. Understand? Two-dimensional or three-dimensional paintings or sculptures. This element is very important. Look at that picture. You can understand many different types of lines are there in one art piece. The surface is plain with one color. The lines are different and their shapes also different. And we will get a nice picture. Very simple activity. The single element is used here. Single element. Only lines are used here. No other forms or other shades, various colors. Simply focus on line. We can create an art piece. Lines can be used for a wide range of purposes. Wide range of purposes means lines have very different types of uses. And what are they? Let's see. Tracing on a word or phrase. We can trace, we can indicate. If we want to notice anything, particularly focus anything, we use lines. Then connecting content. When we want to connect two types of content or two different things, in between them we use lines. Then creating patterns. Different types of patterns we can create using lines. Doodle art it is, you know that. And more uses like this, lines can be used to create an effect of depth or distance. Example lines which start from the same point meeting the horizon rails of the railways. This example is given here, rails of the railway. When we draw two lines afterwards meeting at one point, and when we draw a horizontal line there, that is the horizon. In this way, we are capable to show the more and more depth in our painting, looking like a real landscape, a real scene, its effect on our mind. Eye satisfied, eye catching sketches we can draw using various types of lines. Take one more example. Suppose on road, and besides this many trees are there, big trunk. In front foreground trees are big, then middle ground trees smaller than that, and the last background trees are very very small, and at a certain point they all meet in one point and we get their horizon. We can see again like rails, nice depth, or very thick forest, or very long distance in our picture. We can show many kilometers in a single plane, and you can observe this type of quality in Western paintings mostly. Western paintings mostly depicts very much distance in one painting, and very much incidents collected in one big painting. You can observe, for example, we are taken Leonardo's pictures or Rembrandt. Find out the two artists' work. Okay, come to the next point, shape. The three basic types of shape are geometry: circles, squares and triangles. These three are the basic shapes, and other shapes we have from these shapes too. We get all other shapes. So the basic shapes here indicated that circles, squares and triangles only. And natural shapes, naturally you know that leaves, trees, people, etc. And the abstract shapes we can find out in icons, stylization, then graphic representation, symbols. All these things shows abstract paintings, abstract forms. These are used creatively to make visually pleasing and eye-catching designs. When we use all these type of forms, we can create a nice, creative, eye-catching art piece. So friends, like lines, shapes are also very much useful, a main basic element in each and every art. It may be two-dimensional or three-dimensional. Turn the page now. We have the third element here. It's color. Color is used to generate emotions, define importance, create visual interest. It is referred to as hue. It is also used to highlight an area in an artwork. It is a hue means what? The another name of color we can call it hue. When you are going to have some particular shades in the market and try to read that name of the color, you find instead of color there maybe the name is hue. Understand? So color means hue, the another name of color. When we use colors in our painting, the painting is very pleasant, nice, complete, okay, generous. Colors give importance of our painting, and using only colors, no other elements, only using colors we can form different types of paintings, mainly abstract paintings. can highlight some particular area in that picture. Suppose think about any landscape picture in front of you. Remember, try to remember it and watch mindly. You can see that some particular area in the foreground is highlighted. Trying to focus on that point only. You can understand that thing. If we watching that picture only, our eyesight goes that some particular place first. That is highlighted portion, and this is happened only because of colors. The sense colors are very useful to catch our emotions or to show our emotions. They are playing with different types of emotions. Understand? Colors are also very useful element in visual art. And number second, light and shadow. Depending on the amount of light falling on an object and shading of the object, or the shadow falling on the object changes through the play of light and shadow, the form of an object is emphasized. Emphasize means what? To give importance. If you want to give importance on particular thing in our picture, we have to use shades and lights there. So the game of shades and light, playing means what? The game of shades and light attracts us to that particular thing. So think about still life now. 4-5 things are there, arranged nicely, collectively. The arrangement is looking like a nice picture, and when we draw that picture, we focus on particular things, because in that picture one element is focusable, then the second element having second rank, then third rank, then fourth rank. That much 4-5 elements are included in that picture, and we are giving importance, numbering them like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And first of all, when we sight that picture, we look this particular object that is focused by shade and light. First highlighted it is, and after that the second one is less highlighted. We see that place, after that another place, and after that the other place. The playing, it is a game of shading. We feel that picture, and it's only because of the light and shade game only, and it's appealing quality of that artist. So lights and shadows are very useful of any artist. Understand? That object simply emphasized because of light and shade. Emphasize means what? We to give importance to some particular thing. Emphasize means to give importance only, to focus on. Okay, we can emphasize any particular thing in our picture. We use light and shadows. Understand? Or we want to divert our vision from that object. That time also we use that shades and light. If we use more and more shades there, we cannot understand, we cannot visualize that thing quickly. We have to give their keen observation. We have to watch that picture keenly for more time. After that, we understand this thing is under that tree. See, notice it. Like we are talking. Using shades, we dominate any object, or using lights, we can focus any object. So it is a game only. The next one, the fifth element is texture. Texture refers to how an element feels when we touch it. Objects could be smooth, rough, sharp, blunt, etc. If these textures could be captured as they are, the artwork may seem more realistic and appealing to the observer. We are all observers. So when we observe any particular picture and some particular things having textures, we can understand this surface is very rough, maybe it is very bold, or any fruit skin. Suppose try to remember the fruit skin in any picture. You understand that the skin is rough or smooth or glossy, whatever it may be. We can understand by the coupling of textures only. Understand? So coupling means what here? We appealing realistic means what? Pleasing, realistic, natural texture we can feel. Friends, we can use textures by two types. First of all, we directly use textures, sheets, applying different types of texture on that artwork, and when we touch that, we feel the up and downs on that particular art piece. Or we can use nice applications of coloring, and after that we can feel that texture without touching also, with that feel that texture. So textures are used by these two types. So this element is also very important, like lines and other elements. Because of this element we can understand the surface of that particular object. In this way, lines, shapes, colors, light and shadows and texture, these 5 elements are very important in any type of artwork, in visual art. Understand? Now come to the next point. We have here one picture. Still life it is. You know that. An artwork mostly depicting different arrangements of non-living objects is called still life. These are all non-living objects are arranged well, set there and keeping there like a art piece. So that is still life only. So observe how the 5 elements of visual art have been used in different still life artworks. You have to watch different still lives of different artists, and you can understand how these 5 elements are used there. Some artists also used lines to show depth in that picture, or to show shadows, to mold that particular thing as rounded. They use, without shades, they use only lines. So how the different artists uses that 5 elements differently, showing or completing these type of picture, mainly still life. Different styles you can understand. You come to know different styles, different artists, and different pleasant art pieces. So find it out. Come to the next point. Memory drawing it is. An artwork depicting incidences events happened in our life, experiences it is, incidences and experiences, or visuals based on one's experience or memory is called memory drawing. Observe how the 5 elements of visual art have been used in different still lives, likewise in memory too. So in this way, you have to find out these 5 elements are used differently by different artists, but how? So that's why you have to observe the different pieces only. You have to study the different pieces. You have to write it down about them. Noticeable things. Which elements is more affected? Which elements is given their more contribution? You have to find out that. You have to study that. Understand? So you know what is still life. Still life is the arrangement of man things. And what is memory drawing? The drawing made by our memory, and that incidents may be happened with you or around you. That's not matter, but we use that. So remember it well. We use our memory in memory picture. We try to memorize that understanding, that experience. Okay, and for that we use three types of grounds in our memory drawing: foreground, middle ground, and background. This is a different topic to discuss. So welcome to the next point. Here, an activity is given to us. Ask the students to draw one still life and memory drawing. Okay, try to draw one each of us. Okay, come to the next point, last one. Let's learn calligraphy. Both the Devanagari and Roman scripts contain alphabets made of circular shapes, triangles, squares, straight lines, etc. Following pens and brushes can be used to create calligraphy content: brush, cut names, boru, sketch pen, cut sketch pen, markers, flash, flat brush, etc. These are all the instruments we can use to write the calligraphy. Lettering, it is, the other name is lettering. You can write different types of same letter differently. You can write using different instruments, using different point styles: pointed, flat, rounded, like this. Here are we have some examples already written in the next page, page number 49. The change in the style of the letters when written with all the above equipments can be seen below. Equipments means what? Instruments, tools that we used for the writing. First one is brush. See that letter, Bal Bharti, how it looks. Then cut nips. When we use cut nip, one line is very thin and one is bold. We can understand it is cut nip lettering. Then boru. Boru also, likewise, the cut nip doing its work. Then sketch pen. Fifth one, cut sketch pen, markers, and flat brush. So look at this fifth number, flat brush gives us a bold writing. So how is the flat length? You can get more bold and bold and bold letters. Understand? Come to the next point. Plain practical geometry, geometrical instrument. Geometrical instructions are not only useful in lettering mathematics, but also in creating different designs and proportion shapes. They are useful in capturing details in measurement while sketching. Here are two examples we have here. One is a prism and the second one is cylinder. We have the bottom is the plan. First one reasons the square like, and the next one is circular. Base means circle. That is the plan only. And first picture above the plan is front view, and the remaining single picture we have here, that is side view. You know, and how to draw them, that also you know. Here I don't want to draw these pictures because this is a different topic, and our period also may be lengthened. So remember, we simply talking about what are the uses of this geometry in our painting. Okay, so when we use the basic shapes, suppose you want to draw in a memory picture, and take one example, a scene at seashore. So you want to draw that picture. For that, what to do? For that, you have to memorize your experience, and then first of all, you have to draw the figures in blocks, and that blocks are like geometrical shapes only. This is practical geometry only, and using that blocks you can show the buildings perspectively. Natural, realistic things it is. When we want to draw the real picture, what we see, what we vision through our memory, or if we stay there and seeing that natural scene, you want to capture that scene on our drawing board. At that time, you have to use geometrical shapes there perspective there. There are planes, side views, front views, the top view or the bottom view, plan. You must know all the things and then convert that things into realistic borders, and after that you can easily capture the real moment, real action of that particular person. Understand? In this way, you can easily draw the person's actions using that shapes. So, this geometry, plane geometry is also very very important to us. And if you are giving the exam, trade exam, drawing exams, you must know how to draw that geometry. So try to study it, or prefer my other videos. You will get that all the constructions related to lines, parallel lines, triangles, squares, then other related geometric shapes also. Let's come to the next point, page number 50. Expressing the same thing differently. Same thing means the subject is here same, only the artists are different. Okay, what's the fun here? Let's see. Ask the students to observe the pictures given below. They are all a depiction of a sunrise by different artists in different styles. Give the students a word or theme and encourage them to draw or paint a picture as per their imagination and style. Give times for the students to move around and observe each other's work without criticizing or reading any work as best or very good like this. You don't criticize or you don't appreciate anyone's picture like that. This thing is not so good, or this thing is very good. Not like that. All the pictures are in their places correct and good. Understand? So we cannot criticize them as correct or wrong. So remember to tell always. And what is the activity for you? Your teacher gives you any nice concept or nice word related to that word, you have to draw any picture, that particular picture using any style or your own style. Okay, so it's depend on your imagination, because here we have one example in front of you that the subject is only sunrise, but different artists draws differently. They are using pen, brush, colors, all the elements are used differently. Understand? We see one subject but the pictures are different and also looking nicely. See the first one picture, we can understand what reflection there. So these are all strokes only that artist uses, mostly all the abstract forms there. Come to the next one. Looks like realistic, but it is super realistic. We can understand the surrealism here. Super more realistic. Happily we see here. The next one. Here two nice birds are sitting there, are ready to fly. Means come out of their nest. That means the end of night and the sunrise comes out. Like that, these emotions are shown to the animals. And the next one picture is also realistic. Nice picture. See the next one, blue shades and green shades opposites, and middle one we get orange, which is exactly opposite that black, and focuses because of that black. Black focuses that orange. Here, what we say, that is color application, colors intensity, correct? Colors intensity is used here. Which color gives more intensely effect on our eyes, attracts our mind? That intention, that intensity is used mainly in all the abstract paintings. So, that is the very vast topic for you. Come to the next. Simple and loving. Use mainly the line element. And we can understand sun, rays, clouds, and all the things. The sunrise. Well, sunrise we can understand quickly. The small children generally draw like that. Okay. If you draw your sunrise picture, how it looks, think about it. Not simply think, try to do it. Okay. Come to the next one. Appreciating visual art. Let's take an example. Any food dish has some ingredients which have to be mixed and cooked. The final taste of same dish would differ when your mother or sister or chef in the hotel makes it. The reason is that each one uses same ingredients in different styles. So the taste, look and smell of that food or dish may be different. To understand, the ingredients are same, but three types of peoples are there: your mother or your sister or any chef of any particular hotel. Okay, so hotel chef doing his best to use that elements, or mother using her best, then sister using her best. Different people, different dishes we have here, though the elements are same. Friends, in this way the subject is same, ingredients are same, but the artists are different, the cooking persons are different, their styles also different. They choose the ingredients, weightage also different. Someone's dish is very hot, someone's sweet. So though the ingredients same, but the measurement can be different, differs, like the different artists, different shapes. This example is compared to our artist. Understand why the subject is same and why the art pieces are different. This is the answer only. Similarly, in visual art, we have the difference. Come to the next page. Some world famous artists. Sorry. While there have been several great artists in the world, here is the brief introduction to a few of the celebrated ones. Celebrated ones means famous again. We know them well. Their art pieces are very, very famous out of the world and in our country too. These are the all celebrated, well-known persons. Not persons, we can call them artists. Okay, so which are they? Let's see, some examples are given here. Have a look there. Raja Ravi Verma, 1848 to 1906. Raja Ravi Verma is a celebrated Indian artist born in what is now a part of Kerala. Ravi Verma was famous for his depictions of Hindu deities and episodes from the epics and Puranas. His work is considered to be a great example of a fusion of European techniques and Indian sensibility. 1848 means very, very old times. Then also, Raja Ravi Verma uses Western style and our Indian style combined and giving more and more realistic, nice effects to his art. And his subjects also we know that. What are they? Hindu deities. Hindu deities means Hindu god, goddesses, etc. And episodes of epics of Puranas. It's about the stories related to, take one example, directly Ramayana or in Mahabharata. That big epics, big stories, big poems we can call it as epic. Okay, big, very, very, very long poems known as epics. And on that some particular episodes, means particular events, incidents happen in Ramayana. Suppose take one example that Sita sees that deer and Ram and Sita are talking about that deer to each other. Like that, this famous incidents happened in Ramayana. Everyone knows that, and he draws picture on that particular event. Like this, any lady going to worship come out of her house like that, or wandering in forest, or any goddess worship, all the persons are sitting there and doing that incident, or any particular king is portrayed likewise. That time the subjects are depicted through his art are very very famous. Each and every person nowadays too, each and every person home is not having his art piece. We don't find that type of example nowadays too. How? You can ask that question to your parents too. Every calendar, every photo, every picture of our god, goddesses, including Ravi Verma's pictures. Till date we use that pictures, love that picture, worship that pictures. We are very much attracted. We shows our affection, we shows our devotion, many types of feelings towards God as like a God seeing that pictures. Understand? So he is one of the most celebrated artists in 18th century. Come to the next, Vincent van Gogh. West Nati, 1853 to 1890. Vincent van Gogh was a Dutch painter highly revered in the art world. His paintings include landscape, portraits, etc., which are characterized by bold colors and dramatic, loud and expressive brushstrokes. Bold strokes can be clearly seen in his painting. Bold strokes are there. Bold means what? Focusable, noticeable, quickly notice. We can notice that bold brushing style in his painting. Bold colors, attractive colors. You can understand through his painting. This is the unique style of Vincent van Gogh. Usually he uses dots of that like a patches. Many times he used. When you go through this artist using in social media, net, etc., you can understand more about Vincent van Gogh. He mostly experimented on that subjects, landscapes and portraits that we people love most. Okay, come to the next, Pablo Picasso. So Pablo Picasso was a Spanish painter and sculptor. He was a highly revered artist of 20th century and had a most distinct style of painting called Cubism. Distinct means different. His painting style is very different. His sculpture style also very different. His paintings and subjects and objects of these paintings are broken up into pieces and rearranged in an abstract form, as can be seen in this painting. What's the next painting to you in front of you? When we watch the painting, all the forms are broken up first and again joined. We understand first part is not joined well. The second part, the face is upper side. Look at this picture. The backward part is we see in front of you. All the parts are broken up and their places also not proper. You can see that. Using the natural shape, when he broken that pieces, you will get that abstract painting style. Like this, very simple way it is, but unique one. It is new one, different from the others. We can say that, and it is like a Cubism style. So, in 20th century, this Western artist Pablo Picasso is mainly known for the Cubism period. That Cubism art style in Marathi we can call as Ganavat. Okay, so blocks are there, and that geometrical shapes, that blocks showing roundity, realistic way, but having different styles other than the real paintings. Understand this type of style it is. And come to the next one. Giorgio Kefi, 1887-1986. Georgia O'Keeffe was an American artist, Western artist. She is one of the most significant artists of the 20th century. Again, she is also in the 20th century, known internationally for her boldly innovative art. Innovative means what? Simply new art. Okay, she found her own new style. Her distinct flowers, dramatic city shapes, glowing landscapes, and images of bones against the stark desert sky are iconic. Iconic means what? Unique, effective. In simple word, we can say that spatial. Her style is very spatial, unique. That effects on us, effective it is. New one it is. That is iconic. Okay. And stark desert sky means what? Her images are like stark desert sky. Desert means no one is there. Not a single tree is on that land means what? That is desert only. No water, no all these things. That is desert. The place is desert means no one is there. Like that, she draws the sky, but only the sky is there. Empty sky, it is desert sky it is. We cannot count other things like stars or moon or clouds like that. We cannot count there. Simply, the sky is innovatively captured in her painting. So think how nice the painting it is. One example is in front of you. Look at this. Watch it properly. We simply love that picture. So in this way her style is very, very unique. Turn the page. Jamini Roy, 1887-1970. Jamini Roy was an Indian painter. He was honored with the National Award of Padma Bhushan in 1955. He was one of the most famous pupils of Rabindranath Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore was his teacher. Okay, whose artistic originality and contribution to the emergence of modern art in India remains unquestionable, means remarkable it is, unquestionable, important it is. Jamini Roy contributed much more things for developing our art culture. He doing most of the art pieces and they are very remarkable, nice, awarded Padma Bhushan award by our government, and he was a student of famous artist Rabindranath Tagore. His art is a combination, a mixture of Western art and our Indian art. And the subjects are related to our people only. That's why his art is very popular in our people. Understand? Come to the next one, Amrita Shergill. Amrita Shergill, one of the most talented painters ever to have graced the Indian soil. She was an artist beyond compare. Beyond compare is what? No other woman artist is there So nice that all the Amrita Shetty. She is one of the best one in 19th century. Though she lived for just 28 short years. 20 years means very very short years. She left an indelible mark on the history of contemporary Indian art. Her paintings were the perfect blend of Western Indian techniques, which gave them an exotic appeal. Exotic means very new, innovative. It is unfamiliar. We don't know that technique. The technique is very very new for us. Like that, exotic appeal. We can say that very new one. And her subjects are also related to the rural women, that women having hard life, hard time in that period. Their natural emotions are painted by her mostly. She always says like that. I don't find any happy woman in the society like that. So you can imagine how the period is difficult that time for men. And see, work on this real subject. That's why her work is remarkable. And one more thing, why we say nowadays too that she is more talented. All the paintings effects on us and having a natural look, because he uses the style of Western application coloring, shades and lights, focusing any particular thing. She can having depth using that shades. That's why the paintings are looking very nice and effective. And we are all proud of her. So come to the next. K.G. Subramaniam, 1924 2016. I think you must have seen all the paintings of Subramaniam. Latest period it is, not much more old. So K.G. Subramaniam was awarded the Padma Bhushan in 2012. He was a multi-faceted personality, an artist, teacher, storyteller, poet, cultural organizer, textile designer, all rolled into one versatile artist. He challenged traditional and dared to depart the orthodox ideas to create a unique style of his own. He opposes the olden styles coming from old days. He find out his own ideas. Depart means to throw, not accept. That is depart. He has that type of daring that time. Orthodox means what? That things coming from olden days, traditional, ruler, particular things. We cannot change that things. Take one example. If our any god is sitting on that particular seat, we can change the seat like this. He has that type of daring that time. Versatile artist, a poet, cultural organizer, textile designer, many types of fields related to art we handled that time. And our government also awarded Padma Bhushan in 2012 to him. Subramanian's art is very good, watchable, and we simply love it. Okay, come to the next one, Abalal Rahman. Abalal Rahman was a talented visionary artist. Visionary means he had superpower. He can imagine how that thing happen in the future. That type of superpower is having Balal Rahman. So how nice artist he was. He was born in Kolhapur around 1856 to 1816. 1888 he was awarded the Viceroy's Medal for his work. After seeing his work, Rajarshi Shahu Maharaj also very much influenced by his art and giving him opportunity as a court artist that time. Okay, Balal Rahman had a mastery over using watercolors. Mastery means having a much more capability to use that colors nicely. Okay, his creativity can be seen through his depictions of birds, animals, portraits, processions, etc. So he creates many types of pictures, including all these birds, animals, portraits, many subjects he handled. He made use of different techniques like finger painting, shading, pencil sketching to create art. So different types of styles also he experienced that time, using only fingers instead of brushes, or different types of shading, applying in one picture, how the picture getting a nice look. That also he experienced, engaging many more experiments with many more instruments, equipments, tools he tried in his life. So that is the different thing. Okay, come to the next page. 53. Sculptor Rao Bahadur Ganpatrao Matre. Rao Bahadur Ganpatrao Matre was a famous sculptor who studied at the Sir J.J. School of Arts. His famous work, Lady Visiting a Temple, was critically acclaimed. Acclaimed means admirable. Very, very famous, very known. It. A lady visiting a temple. And if you want to see that sculpture, still also that sculpture is there in Sir J.J. School, Mumbai University, it is, sorry. Go there and you can watch that sculpture too. This sculpture depicting a Maharashtrian lady is free from the influence of British art style. The pleats of her 9-yard long sari are appropriately carved and highlight the form. Her hairstyle, her postures, where she leans on one leg while the other leg is slightly bent, is appropriately captured. Her hands, face and delicate feet have been sculpted in great details. Great details means each and every minor thing is carved in that sculpture. Okay, and what is that? Lady visiting a temple. A small plate with flower is in her hand, and she was step forward to go out. Her one left leg is little bent, and her foot are very delicate, nice, and what we say, great details are shown in fingers, then toes, her nails too, very creatively done. And she wears a very, very long sari, 9 yard, very, very long sari, and the pleats, folds are there, and that folds are also very detailed carved. His work is free from the Western art, Matre having his own style, and that is Indian only, simply Indian, not any type of influence of Western artist. That is the main feature of his sculpture style, we can say. And one more thing, her hairstyle. Our Indian women having particular hairstyle, collecting all the hairs at one point here back side, and also using some flowers like that, nice look, Indian traditional look, you know that type of picture is that. And we don't have here picture, that's why I am trying to tell you how the sculpture is. Her posture, where she leans on one leg. Posture means what? Her body style, body language is very very nice. What we say? It is nice style. It is. We can say in our words. It means we feel that the natural lady is with us when we stand beside that statue. Understand? Though he experimented with different media means he used like stones, then cement or soils like that. His work in marble was one of the finest. The finest work is that the medium he used, that is what we say, marble only. His name features prominently in the history of Indian modern sculptures. He adopted the Western realistic style into his own technique style for creating art. When he does more and more sculptures, he also adds the realistic Western style. More and more reality he experimented in his sculpture art. Understand? So he is one of the most famous, remarkable sculptor in our India. Ravadu Matre. Come to the next point. Well, before that, read the 2 lines. Here is one activity for you. We already studying Jamini Roy, Amruta Shergill, and K.G. Subramaniam, Abala Rahman, Ravadu Matre, and Pablo Picasso, Vincent Van Gogh, Georgia, Raja Ravi Verma. So you have to choose how many? Choose any one of the above mentioned artists, any one only, and try to see as many of their artworks as possible. Try to note how they use the 5 elements of visual art. So you have to study one of the artists, whether he may be belongs to Western or Indian, no problem. It's depend on your choice. Try to find out more and more information about that artist and write it down in your notebook. Collect all the art pieces, okay, of his only. Come to the next point, some Indian folk art forms. I think we will stop here. We are now completed this remaining part of this same unit in the next period. Till then, goodbye, good day, and take care.